today we are going to make our Play-Doh recipe. So I have my recipe on my laptop and it's sitting in the background. And I have gotten all of my ingredients together. I have my salt that I need. I have my 2 Kool-Aid packets, my cream of tartar, my measuring cup for my 1 cup, my measuring teaspoon for my teaspoon, and my vegetable oil. So I am going to start off with adding in my dry ingredients to the bowl here. So the dry ingredients calls for 1 cup of flour, so I'm going to add in 1 cup of flour. And then it calls for a 1/2 cup of salt. So I'm going to add in a 1/2 cup of salt. And then it calls for 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. So I'm going to take my cream of tartar and I'm going to measure out 2 level teaspoons. 1, 2. And those in my Kool-Aid packets, my last dry ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Kool-Aid packets. And this is just going to add the color and the smell of cherry to my Play-Doh. Alright, and I'm going to just going to mix gently here my dry ingredients together. And then I'm going to turn my stove onto a medium heat. Low to medium heat. So I'm going to turn my stove on here between 3 and 4 for low to medium heat. Your stove may be different, so you'll have to adjust accordingly. And one safety feature to keep in mind is always kind of keep your handle back inside so that it's not sticking on the other side where you could flip it and burn yourself, or if you've got little kids like I do who run around, they're not grabbing it for themselves. Alright, and then I'm going to add my wet ingredients to my bowl on the stove, which is a teaspoon of vegetable oil. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of vegetable oil here. And a cup of water. Cup of water here. Alright, now as this is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and take my dry ingredients. I'm going to start dumping them into my water and oil. Here. And then I am just going to take and start stirring. Stirring and mixing up the ingredients here. to keep stirring it until it starts forming that ball shape in that dough. I'm going to keep cooking this down until it starts to become dry. So it may take a few minutes. So while that's cooking down, I am going to pour myself a cup of tea. And you want to keep kind of stirring it as it's starting to form. You don't want to let it sit on the stove too long without continuously stirring it, or it's going to burn. So it looks like it's starting to shape up here. Turn my heat down just a little bit more. You might have to grab another spoon. It's kind of sticking a little bit. Alright, so it looks like it's starting to form that ball shape here. I'm going to kind of pull it off the stove a little bit. Alright, so once it forms this kind of ball shape here, what you want to do is you want to take it off of the heat and you want to let it cool down. We are going to let it cool down and then come back and knead our dough.